my name is Holly Forbes. I'm a registered dietitian here to provide you with practical tips to create and live a healthier life. So, it's that time of the year again, the beginning of the year, the time where so many people have so many different New Year's resolutions. We start off the year excited, ready to accomplish our goals, and then somewhere along the way, we lose enthusiasm. This happens because we try to do too many new things at once, and the new things that we want to incorporate are usually not sustainable long term. This also happens because we have a tendency to focus on the outcome of our goal instead of the process to achieving that goal. So, to prevent this from happening, try to only focus on 1 to 3 goals at a time. For example, some people, their goal is to lose weight, eat healthier, and exercise more, just to name a few. However, these goals are very vague. So the second thing you want to do is try to make that goal something that is very specific. So for example, if your goal is to eat healthier, then a specific goal would be to eat 2 servings of fruits every day and 3 servings of vegetables every day. However, you want to make it something that's realistic to you and not something that's completely different than what you were doing before. So if you weren't eating any vegetables at all before, then eating 2 servings of fruits and 3 servings of vegetables might not be like the most realistic for you in the beginning. So you want to start slow and work your way to that goal. So something that you could do is try to have a goal of eating 1 fruit a day and 1 serving of vegetable, right? That sounds a little bit more realistic, a little bit more manageable than 2 fruits, 3 vegetables. But the goal is to get to that point. And then you want to prepare to be successful. So if your goal is to eat healthier, then you need to add fruits and vegetables to your grocery list. If your goal is to exercise more, then you need to figure out what it is that you need to do so that that can happen. Do you need a gym membership? Do you need to go find a park to walk in? Do you need a workout buddy? Do you need a personal trainer? Do you need new shoes, new workout clothes? What do you need so that you can successfully accomplish that goal? Lastly, you want to check in with yourself and evaluate your progress. Are you doing the things that you said you would do? And then you want to ask yourself why or why not, right? If you're not doing it, that doesn't mean you just throw away the goal and you just forget about it altogether. It simply means that you have to come back and reevaluate what's working, what's not working. Maybe you thought that you could exercise in the morning 5 days a week, but then you realize, no, maybe it might be better and easier for you to exercise in the evening, maybe 2 or 3 days a week. So the idea isn't to just completely throw away the goal, but to reevaluate it, figure out what's working, what's not working, and change it a little bit to make sure that it's something that's manageable, something that's achievable, and something that you actually can do. And then lastly, you don't want a slip to become a fall, right? So if your goal was to do something 5 days a week and one day you didn't do it, like that doesn't mean, that you're a failure. That doesn't mean you just forget about it. All that means is that you just need to keep trying, keep going at it. Don't let the one thing that you did or didn't do distract you from, continuing to go along to try to achieve that goal. So something that I started doing to help me with my goals is I downloaded this app called Habit. So Habit is an app where you go in and you put in the habits that you want to have every day. So if you want to read a book every day, eat a vegetable every day, exercise at least 3 times a week, whatever it is, you go in, you create the goal, you determine the frequency that you want to try to have that habit, right? So if it's once a week, twice a week, every day, 5 times a week, and then you do the work, you try to, do the thing that you said you'd do. And then each day, like at the end of the day, you go and you just check off whether or not you did it. So that's kind of a way to hold you accountable to your goal. It's kind of a way for you to see your goal every day, to see what you're doing, what you're not doing. And then it tracks your progress to show you how well you're doing, if you're doing it every day, and how well you're doing with that goal. So that's something that you could try to incorporate. Or maybe you just need to get a journal, get a planner, get a habit tracker on paper, whatever it is that's going to work for you. For me, it just works easier for me to have it on my phone. So like I said in the beginning, it's a new year. We have these New Year's resolutions, but don't be that person that gets to December and realizes that they haven't accomplished their goals or they haven't did the thing that they said they wanted to do. Create a plan so that you can do it every single month, and create a plan so that what you want to do actually becomes a habit. It becomes something that comes to you just almost as naturally as brushing your teeth. But the only way for that to happen is to practice doing it every single day, but if not every single day, at least 5 times a week, 3 times a week, and keep that goal right in front of you, whether it's writing it down on your wall, writing it on a paper, writing it in your journal, downloading that app I mentioned, whatever it is. You need something to remind you of that goal every day so that you don't lose track of whatever you wanted to do. Hey guys, it's Holly, registered dietitian, here to empower you to live an abundant life. So it's February and there's a lot of things being celebrated this month. So it's Black History Month, it's American Heart Month, we celebrate Valentine's Day this month. So there's a lot going on and they're all connected because heart disease is the #1 cause of death in the United States. It's very prevalent in the African American community, and a lot of people have lost loved ones to heart disease. Even though it's very prevalent, it's also very preventable. So what can we do? We can go red. Go Red is the American Heart Association's national movement to end heart disease and stroke in women. However, heart disease does not only affect women, it affects us all. So what does Go Red mean? G is for get your numbers. You want to know what your blood pressure is, your cholesterol, your glucose. These things can be easily found out by taking a trip to your doctor's office or going to like your local pharmacy or grocery stores. Like they usually have like, in the pharmacy section of the grocery stores, they have a station where you can check your blood pressure. O stands for own your lifestyle, right? So there's a lot of different changes that we can make in our lifestyle that can reduce your risk of getting heart disease. Exercising being one of them. The recommendation is to get at least 150 minutes of exercise per week. For some people, that's a lot, and a lot of people like, oh man, I don't have the time. But you can just find ways to incorporate physical activity into your everyday lifestyle, like taking the stairs at work. So for example, I work in a hospital and my hospital has 6 floors. However, I work on the first floor and I usually only have to go to the 3rd floor because that's where my unit is, where I have to see my patients. But what I do is before I go see my patients every day, I go all the way up to the 6th floor and then walk back down to the 3rd floor. So by doing that, I'm incorporating physical activity into something I do every day, and it only takes like 2 more minutes of my time. Or another thing you can do is, at the grocery store, any parking lot that you're in, park in the farthest spot in the parking lot, and so that you have, more time to walk and you have like more steps that you can take in between the time that you leave your car and enter the grocery store. And then part of lifestyle changes that we can also make is eating healthy, right? So what does that mean? That means incorporating more fruits and more vegetables, more whole grains into your diet. Every meal that you eat should have at least 1 fruit or 1 vegetable at the very minimum. Of course, more if you can, but at the very minimum, at least 1 fruit or vegetable at every meal that you eat. And then water. A lot of us don't drink enough water. We drink a lot of juice, a lot of soda, a lot of coffee, and not a lot of water. So at the very minimum, you want to try to drink at least 2 bottles a day. The requirements are different for everybody depending on your height, your weight, your gender, how active you are, whether or not you spend a lot of time in the sun. But at the very minimum, try to drink at least 2 bottles a day. And then you also want to try to decrease, like stress in your life, get outdoors more often, and be more grateful. It really goes a long way. R is for realizing your risk. So what increases your risk of developing heart disease? Other than lifestyle factors, things that increase your risk are uncontrolled chronic diseases like blood pressure, high blood pressure, and diabetes. Other things like your age, family history, being sedentary, smoking, all of these things increase your risk for heart disease. E is for educate. So you want to educate your friends, your family. You want to encourage each other. You want to make healthy choices together because you shouldn't be alone in this fight. And then D is for don't be silent, right? So like I said, heart disease is very prevalent in the African American community. It's the #1 cause of death in the United States. So you like whatever you're learning about heart disease, whatever you're doing, you want to make sure that you're sharing it with your loved ones, sharing it with your family, sharing it with anyone that you know who's at an increased risk for heart disease. Don't be silent. Share the word. Send this video to all your friends, your families, whomever you think would be benefited by it. Share it with them. Okay, so that's all. Just wanted to encourage you guys on how you can live in a more abundant life. And in this edition, we talked about how we can reduce our risk for heart disease. Okay, so remember guys, go red.